Their budget is $13 billion a year. That's right, $13 billion a year, and and remember now since 2010, but since 2000, but certainly since 2010, the number of electronically filed returns is close to 94% now. So almost all returns are sent in electronically. It really relieves the IRS of a lot of their burden, and the work that they had to do before was gather all the mail on take it out of an envelope, process it. That was a lot of work, but when it's done electronically, I had a list on. Maybe that's a good idea. I have to get that list about exactly the steps that are taken when it's done manually versus the steps that are taken when it's done electronically. It's night and day, and none of that should be reflected in their budget. So we're told. So I have a good story here that we're going to talk about because it's kind of going out. Audits are coming. Again, that's because they're spending more money, and we have to figure out, well, how are we going to pay for it all? Nobody wants to say there's going to be a tax increase, but we all know a tax increase is coming. And so we have the big the bugaboos about the crypto people, they're not paying their fair share. The small business people, they're not paying their fair share. The tax gap, we talked a lot about that on the show. Also, and corporations aren't paying their fair shares. Rich people they're not paying their fair share. So we're going to change all this and make sure that they all pay their fair share. And whether is that really going to happen? Well, I guess we'll see, right? So I wanted to. Here's an article. Republicans push back against politicization of the IRS, and this is what I was referring to: is that there are those that are against budget. There was just a big. I think they talk about it in this article. So let's read the article, then we can go in from there. President Joe Biden has pushed for beefing up the IRS audits of corporations to raise revenue for his spending proposals, but Republicans are raising the alarm about potential consequences of the plan. Biden unveiled his Made in America tax plan earlier this year as a strategy to help fund his trillions of dollars in proposed new federal spending that includes several tax hikes. Despite this, a bipartisan coalition of U.S. House and Senate have agreed the basic framework for Biden's proposed infrastructure plan, but one element has been the theme of the negotiations among the Republicans: no new taxes. The GOP pushback against raising taxes, though, puts more pressure on Biden administration to find ways to fund his agenda. Aside from Biden's controversial tax hike proposals, the president also has proposed adding $80 billion in funding to the IRS so it can increase audits of corporations. Now, when they say corporations, they don't mean large corporations. They've already admitted, or they've already indicated that the number of audits for small businesses is going to go up by more than 50%. Okay, so they're going to start auditing small business. When they talk about corporations, most small businesses are run as what they call a subchapter S corporation, and and that's who they're targeting. And so they like to couch it in these terms that it's the big businesses that we're going to audit. But we've already seen when the ProPublica released all of those tax forms. Nothing was illegal that they did. They just didn't pay a lot of taxes because they followed the rules that are out there, and those rules are not going to change. And I got a story about that, so we're going to get so they're talking about corporations are going to pay more in taxes, but they really haven't changed anything to make them pay more taxes. Audits are coming, but again, the vast majority of these audits are going to be against individual small business people because that's where the money is.